What up? What up? What up, world? We are back. It's Monday. I'm here on a special early episode for you guys today. For those who don't know me, I am Classic Mike. Well, Mike, but everyone likes to call me Classic Mike. And we are here today. We're going to do some, quick winners and losers, game balls, some trades and injury news and notes and things from the weekend. We're going to just talk about a little bit about the games that happened, recap some of the big things that happened. Also, I'm going to be here answering your questions throughout the show. So please, if you have any, throw them in the comments. Don't hesitate. We'll get to it as we go along. So first and foremost, just want to be able to, shout out some of our particular sponsors and things like that. As you can see, our good one right here is Underdog Fantasy. Make sure you guys check them out. Make sure you guys are using the promo code. Can't forget that. Use the promo code Get Right. And when you do, they'll match up to 100% on your first deposit. Make sure you guys check them out. Also, make sure you guys use that same promo code with trophysmack.com. When you do, they will give you a little something at checkout, but make sure you guys check them out. They are one of the best for all different types of things, custom rings, trophies, chains, belts. So make sure you guys use the promo code Get Right at checkout, and they'll help you out with a little something. Whew. All right. So get some guys in the chat. We got Den Boys in the house. What up, Classic? Thanks for letting me win this week. No problem. Freaking Debo Samuel. That's all right. Zach Ertz hurting me. We'll talk about Zach Ertz in a little bit. Cody going, you are Classic, Mike. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Rave, what's going on, man? Hope all is well. If you have any questions, make sure you guys throw it in the chat. We will get to it as we go along through the show. We got Cody also going. The check down. We'll be having a live stream for tonight's game. Don't forget to check them out too. So once you come from my show, go to their show. They'll be doing something. Make sure you guys subscribe to them as well. If you need just a little hint of what they, can't find them, this is what their banner looks like on YouTube. Make sure you guys subscribe to the Check Down podcast. They will be doing a watch party after this for the Monday night show. So check out Cody and the boys over there as well. Also got to talk about our other affiliates. Might as well do that while we're talking about Cody. We'll also talk about Colin over at WAGMI Fantasy. Make sure you guys check them out at wagmifantasy.com. He has great articles and a website with links to his audio podcast as well. Make sure you guys sign up for his Winning with WAGMI newsletter. Has great advice and great tools to help you guys every week. And make sure you guys also check out AJ and Tim with the Fantasy Frontline podcast. Make sure you guys like and subscribe to both shows. And make sure you guys are following them as well. They're great. We had Tim on here on Friday to step in for me. Unfortunately, I had personal reasons that I had to be out this weekend. My grandmother died. So, miss you, Grammy. Hope everything's okay. Well, hope my family's okay and everyone's doing okay. But got to see most of them and everyone's doing good. So, all right, let's get moving on with the rest of the show. So first and foremost, I know we're going to be talking about week 10, but also want to bring up week 11 is coming up. We have 4 teams on a bye. It's going to be Jacksonville, Miami, Seattle, and Tampa Bay. You're missing out on a lot of decent QBs. Geno, Brady, Tua, Trevor Lawrence, ETN. You're going to miss out on Jeff Wilson and Mostert, Kenneth Walker, Fournette, and White. You're going to also miss out on a couple other guys like Christian Kirk, Tyreek Hill, Waddle, DK, Lockett, Mike Evans, Godwin, people like that. Also missing out Evan Ingram, Mike Gesicki, Noah Fant, Disley, Brayton Otten. So just keep those in mind for when we're going to be talking about week 11 waiver ads. So make sure you guys are aware. So like I said, we're going to give out some winners and loser game balls. So, of course, we're going to do the winners first. It's random scoring. Basically, it's the 14 quarterbacks scored over 20 points this week, which is huge with 6 point touchdowns. this is for. And, there were only 10 last week, so that's good. 20 players, non-QB scored over 20 points, only 14 last week. So we had a little bit of an uptick in how well everyone did. It's all good, then, boys. I appreciate it. Thank you. Great lady. Miss her a lot. She was 90. So we got Brave going. I traded away Kenneth Walker and Sanders for Godwin and Sutton. Oh, for Godwin and Sutton. I had only Cooper and DJ Moore and was 8th place in my 10-team league. Thoughts? I had to make a move and wasn't going to the playoffs. Okay. That's not bad. I mean, I would have preferred keeping Kenneth Walker and Sanders. I mean, you're not really upgrading with Godwin and Sutton, in my opinion. I understand that you might only have those two guys, but unless you have like a ridiculous amount of depth at running back, like if you have 4 guys that are just studs, and I'm talking about like Chubb, Barkley, and I don't know, Chubb, Barkley, and ETN or something like that, and then you have Walker and Sanders as well. I mean, you probably could have got a little more for Walker, even though Godwin's not a horrible choice. Sutton has underproduced recently, but I can understand the move. The only way that it works for me is if it's like a keeper league and you got value out of it, where Godwin or Sutton helps you next year or something like that. If you're an 8th and you're kind of out of it, then there's no really point to making a trade unless you absolutely have to. But not a horrible trade. Not a horrible trade. Rasta going, yo. Sorry if I'm late to the early stream. Let's go. Prime spot tonight. What up, Classic? Yep, we're back. Thank you. I appreciate it, man. Glad to be back. So we'll be getting into the winners and losers of this weekend. We will talk about a few of those. We're going to break it down: quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, and tight ends. All right. So Rave goes, I have Henry and Rashad Wright. Okay. So I probably wouldn't have done that trade if I were you. I get that you might, it might have helped your wide receiving core, but with Henry, having Walker and Sanders are kind of, the best bet. I understand White's going to have a little bit of a role. We're going to talk about that in a little bit more as we move on. But yeah, I get that only having Cooper and DJ kind of forced you to think that you need better help at wide receiver. But you kind of gave away the farm there with Kenneth Walker and Sanders, though. That's kind of your whole team. So it's all good. Always we'll fight back. We're here to help you do better and help you get along. So, and I think this is the first time I've seen you. So I'm glad to have you here. Hopefully what I have to say will help you out. And, we're here every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and I'm usually here on Sundays. Sorry, couldn't make it on Sunday again. Same problem. But, make sure you guys check us out on those days. This is an early special. We don't normally go this early. Usually it's a little bit later at night for those East Coast people. This is for you. But anyone else, we're usually at like 9 o'clock on 12 o'clock Eastern, on the Monday night, Wednesday and stuff like that. So either way, please check us out. If you haven't liked the show already, please like and subscribe. Yeah. So Anthony says, yeah, Walker should have fetched you both those wide receivers by himself. I agree. You could have gotten a lot more for what you got. But at the end of the day, I don't think you should have gave away the farm unless you got something really good in return. All right, so we're going to move on to the quarterback winners and losers of today. I'm also going to let you guys know who Anthony selected for his particular game ball. So for this one, we had a couple of really good and big winners, guys that, we have Justin Fields as QB1. Of course, he did well this weekend. I mean, he's been probably I think he is the best fantasy quarterback for the last 3 weeks. He's like fifth in overall rushing yardage. So it's incredible. Even among running backs, I think he's like 5th in rushing. So, I mean, he's we call it the elite game ball. I mean, he 43 points. Incredible. He had really bad passing numbers, but he had really good rushing numbers. 12 for 20 for 167 for 2 touchdowns and an interception. 13 for 147 yards rushing with 2 TDs. So that's what really kept him above the rest. He's basically Jalen Hurts of last year for the most part. So it's great to see. For Anthony, his game ball is going to go to a little someone different. And I kind of, after I saw his game ball, I'm like, this is definitely a good game ball. And it's for Matt Ryan. I mean, for all those who were, beginning of the day, I was a little upset that I didn't get to do the stream on Sunday because so many things were going on at 11 o'clock to, 12:30. And one of them was that Matt Ryan was warming up with the starting center, and everyone's like, well, they said that Sam Ehlinger is going to play. And I think that, that might have been part of it. And, that was a good move on Jeff Saturday, not announcing who is going to be who. And that makes complete sense. And, good for him for, finding a little bit of an edge in a crud situation. But it goes to, like I said, it goes to Matt Ryan, had 24.68 points, did real well. But yeah, he was basically as I see it in the notes after being left for dead. He basically finishes a QB7, which is fantastic. 21 for 28. I mean, 220 yards and a touchdown, and actually ran for 38 yards and a touchdown, which was a QB sneak. So, I mean, honestly, he did really well considering, and we'll talk about another one of his teammates, actually a few of his teammates coming up. So my game ball would probably have to go to Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence, I mean, had a day, 24.96 points, 29 for 40 with 259 yards and 2 TDs, rushing for at least 26 yards. He did real well. So, great for Trevor Lawrence, and especially against, someone like Patrick Mahomes. He did real well. So finishes QB6. So good for Trevor. Really, really proud of what he did. So back to Rave. He said, I had Walker for Godwin and Sutton last week, and I was a little iffy. Should I have taken should have taken it or shouldn't have taken it. And but it is what it is. Can only look forward. Of course, man. You can always look forward. If you have any questions, of course. For those who aren't aware, we do have a sleeper channel as well. So make sure you guys, I have it. Let me get this out of the way so you don't have it. Right here is our sleeper channel. If you don't have sleeper already, it's a great app, great platform for fantasy football. So download the sleeper app. And then if you look in the link, we have the link to our particular community. Make sure you guys check it out. Make sure you guys, come in. I do injury news during the week, usually Tuesday through Friday. I'll update on Saturday as well as we get more news. So for now, if you don't have it, join it. And we also have great people. All these guys that are talking in the chat right now, Cody, Dem Boys, Rasta, myself, and a few others are always active in that chat. And we're always here to help you guys work through your particular problems as well. So make sure you guys check that out if you haven't already. All righty. So Cole, what's going on, Cole Pierce? Glad to have you here. First time seeing you, so glad to have you. I got offered Cooper Kupp and Higbee for Mixon and Christian Kirk in full PPR. Do I take it? My team is Hurts, Saquon, Derrick Henry, Joe Mixon, AJ Brown, T. Higgins, Amon St. Brown, Kirk, Dalton Schultz, Chris Olave, and Jamal Williams. Nice. You have a really nice team there. I don't know if you take this, and based on Kupp's injury, we were going to talk about this a little bit later, but I'll talk about it now. Kupp's injury right now, he avoided the worst again. He did have an ankle injury a few weeks ago, but he was okay. Now it's a lot worse, considering what he went through last week or 2 weeks ago. In this particular case, it's a high ankle sprain. You can guess it's probably going to be about 4 to 6 weeks. At this point, they haven't indicated that there was any broken fibula or anything like that. So, like I said, it's really just how he rehabs and how quickly he comes back. I don't think you need to do this trade, to be completely honest. I know that getting Cooper Cup is great and all, and believe me, I currently own him, but I'm in a boat where I need to figure out what to do to at least get something to help me moving forward, because most people that have him in most situations are probably in a good scenario. I don't think you should trade away what you have. I think you have a pretty good, solid team. I mean, Saquon, Henry, and Mixon are a very good group of running backs with Jamal on the bench. I mean, Jamal's been doing great as well. If anything, I would probably work with a little bit more of what you have on the inside part of your roster. Things like Ama or Jamal or Olave. You can kind of work that out. If you don't like Dalton Schultz, you can kind of use one of them to kind of maybe move up to get someone like Kelsey or get someone like Kittle. So, make sure you guys do that. That might be a better option, in my opinion. So yeah, I don't think you should do that trade. Even though it's full PPR, I don't think you should take it. I really think you should try to work on different things. Because it looks like you're looking to go for it looks like you're going for just trying to upgrade, but I don't think you need to. AJ Brown and T. Higgins and Alma and Kirk are great options. So I don't think you have to do much. Ross is saying, yeah, JT should have had a bigger day if they gave him Matt Ryan's sneak. Yeah, well, it is what it is. Rave goes, any running back waiver guys I should grab just for 1 week? One guy that you could probably grab that is might not be available is Rashad White. I mean, he will, he's going to see an uptick in carries and things like that. But I saw before that you got him already. Another guy, if he might be available, who knows, is Elijah Mitchell. He's not a horrible choice as well. Jalen Warren, he's seen a huge uptick in snaps recently. He's 36% owned. So, I don't for sleeper and at least 27% in Yahoo. So he's got Philly next, or no, sorry, he's got Cincinnati next. Not a bad move. He's okay. I would probably like Elijah Mitchell a little bit more. It was like a 60-40 split last week. So like him a lot if he's available. Jonathan Smith, what's going on, Jonathan? Hope all's well, man. Well, think my season is over. Henry and ETN and Palmer sold me. I don't think Allen would be good enough to get Gabe Davis's 20 points. Oh, that stinks. I'm sorry, man. Donald Amaro, what's going on, man? Hope everything's good. I'm iffy on Kittle rest of season. Do I move on to Schultz or Njoku? I wouldn't say move on from. I mean, it's hard to drop Kittle just based on his production, his production in that particular offense. I mean, he's going to have a really rough, you're going to have a rough time. Most of these targets are going to go to CMC. It's very rare that they're going to make the game plan go to Kittle. Kittle's really good at what he does, but unfortunately, there's too many cooks in the kitchen in this case. Schultz might be a better option. Njoku's hurt at the current moment, so I would probably aim towards Schultz, but I wouldn't drop Kittle. What I would try to do is trade Kittle in a package with someone on your team and send him on his way and pick up Schultz, or pick up Schultz and then do it. But either way, I would try to get some value. The name of Kittle still is, there, but it's hard to trade him for something high. You might have to trade low. Oh, and thanks for Russ getting Dulcich 2 points. Yeah, I picked him up too. Look at this. Anthony helped me out. Be sure you guys subscribe for a chance to win an autographed Gabe Davis jersey. Of course, we mentioned Gabe Davis before. We got to throw this up. We're not far away, folks. We're almost 20 away, if not less. So make sure you guys subscribe. This is a 600 subscriber giveaway. We will be doing this shortly. Like I said, we're very close to that. So make sure you guys are signing up ASAP. All right. Who's messing with my stuff in the background? Anyway, Cadillac, what's going on, man? 7-3, just beat a guy with Chubb, Pierce, ETN, Cup, and Hill. Good for you, brother. Good for you. I like that. I like that lineup. Mike, how did you cope when your Giants were terrible? I'm not used to this. I just watched a lot of Red Zone. That's how I cope. I watched everything else and I just focused on my I focused on my fantasy football team. So Cadillac goes, should I trade Debo for Waddle? If you can trade Debo for Waddle, do it. Like, I understand how good Debo is, but you could probably maybe get, I mean, you can't do it now, but I think you could probably get Waddle for a decent price, and that Debo's definitely the price. Is Robinson to play with the cup injury? We're actually, I was going to talk about this a little bit later on, but I will mention it now. Yes, I personally do think he will. I think that Walford kind of hurt everybody yesterday and kind of made everybody a little odd. I think Allen Robinson can step into that number one role and kind of do what he needs to. I mean, Cup can't, or Matthew Stafford can't throw it to Cup anymore, so he's going to be forced to. He might throw it a little more to Higbee. Higbee's a good pickup as well for those who are looking for a tight end. But right now, I would definitely, if you have Robinson is a decent play next week. So I'm good with that. Rave goes, when Hollywood comes back, I'll have Kirk, Henry, White, Godwin, Cooper Kupp, Amari Cooper. I have Cooper Kupp on the mind. Hollywood Brown, Sutton, Bass, and the Cowboys D. Is this team playoff worthy? Also, Mark Andrews. I wouldn't call you playoff worthy. I'd say just outside the bubble. You have a lot of good pieces. Unfortunately, it's very hard to get you where you need to go. Cowboys D and Bass are good defensive options. Your wide receivers aren't horrible. I do think the injury to Ertz is going to help Hollywood, if anything. Kirk is a good option. And, for now, Henry and White are okay. I do think you're going to have to trade away pieces like Hollywood and Kirk to maybe, or, Hollywood and Sutton or something like that to get a more stable running back other than, Rashad White. I would aim for, RB2s that are available that you can go with. I mean, good options, if you can go for guys like Jeff Wilson, going for guys like Deontay Foreman or Devin Singletary, guys like that. If you can get away with doing, trading away one of those pieces for one of those guys, I think that might help you out a little bit more. I would probably trade, you can probably use Sutton with the Judy injury to get someone like that. But I would definitely be trading for another running back to kind of solidify your particular team. That's just me, though. Andrews you can keep for now, unless you wanted to trade Andrews for one of those pieces. But I already traded away Mark Andrews for Ertz, and that hurt me. So Cadillac said, I have Jackson and Fields. I feel like I'm sitting on gold mine here. But I don't know how to sell or who I should sell. I mean, the hot commodity right now is definitely Justin Fields and staying with Fields. They're both kind of like meeting each other in different areas. I mean, right now it's tough. It's definitely tough. I feel like, Jackson's on the way down while Fields is on the way up. They're both kind of doing well. I mean, if you look at his particular stuff, I mean, he's been doing real well, and it's his rushing upside. So you can't knock that. His next few weeks, though, I mean, next week he has Atlanta, so he has a great schedule when it comes to that. He does have the Jets the week after. He has Green Bay and then a bye. So he's not going to help you in that final, that week before the last week of the regular season. And then Buffalo and Detroit to end it out. I mean, it's a great championship match. But at the end of the day, he has to get there first. So it's not a horrible move. I don't mind it at all. Honestly, he's a great choice in general. So what I would do is, I mean, it's hard to give one of those away without a extra piece to it. I mean, with Lamar Jackson, he just had his bye week. He goes in with Carolina, Jacksonville, the Broncos, Steelers, a bunch of division games to end it out. And then in week 16, he has Atlanta and Pittsburgh. I like Jackson's schedule better in my opinion. Fields has been doing great. I don't like either. I don't like these guys as quarterbacks in general, even though they've been killing it. As real life quarterbacks, I don't like them. But at the end of the day, honestly, Jackson has been steady. He's been fine. You could probably trade away Fields for, top end talent at this point. So I would probably do Fields at this point, even though down the road I might be wrong. Anthony goes, yeah, man, if Walford didn't throw such an awful ball that he had to jump for, a couple would most likely still be playing. Yeah, that's my biggest problem with backup QBs. It always seems like they're the ones in when these guys get hurt because they're throwing a ball where they can't catch it, and these guys have to make some play to get it, and they end up hurting themselves because of it. Just very upset. Very upset. Oh, what's going on, man? JJ, what's going on? Glad to have you here. If you haven't already, make sure you guys like and subscribe to the show. He says, Connor has been sitting on my bench. Thoughts on flipping Connor for Godwin? Like I tell everybody, it's based on your roster. It's based on how your team looks. If you can afford to get rid of Connor for a guy like Godwin and you need the wide receiver help, go for it. I'm not against that at all. But it's based on your depth. It always based it on your depth. If he's been sitting on your bench because of injury compared to usage, I mean, like I said, if you have two top talent or three top talents and you need the depth, he might not be a bad piece. It's just really based on your wide receiver core. Do you really need Chris Godwin? Is he really necessary to have? So Rave goes, I like a guy like Swift, a buy low, and should I get him? I don't really like I don't like DeAndre Swift this year, and he was going to be talked about a little bit later in our loser section. Honestly, the guy had 6 rush attempts for 16 yards, and I think he played 19. I think he played less than 19 snaps overall in the last few weeks. So he's not someone I'm looking to buy, even though he's been poor, and they're easing him back in. They keep saying easing. But Jamal Williams has been killing it the last few weeks. Why, ease him back? They can definitely ease him back. I don't know about buying low, though. JJ goes, I have Kenneth Walker, Mixon, Stevenson, Connor, Singletary, and my wide receivers are Chase, Olave, Amon, Say Brown, and Pickens. Okay. That's a great group. Yeah, so right now you're short at Chase, and he's going to be out for another 2-3 weeks. So you're looking to at least solidify something for a while. Yeah, flip Connor. I'd do that. Flip Connor for Godwin. You still have Singletary in there. You got 4 solid running backs. Yeah, that seems like a good move. I like Pickens and I like Amon. I think they're doing fine, but I think Chris Godwin kind of helps in the meantime. So yeah, good move. All right, so let's keep it going. We're going to go to the running backs of last week. I mean, there were so many. We mentioned before there were 12 players. There were non-QBs that scored over 20 points last week. I mean, this is great. I love seeing the great production. The guy that as of right now, I mean, we got Monday night kickoff in about an hour. But for right now, the running back one on the day is Jonathan Taylor. I mean, 24.3 points. 22 attempts, 147 yards, 6.7 yards a carry with a touchdown. I mean, he could have had another one too. Matt Ryan took it. 2 receptions on 2 targets for 16 yards. I mean, he played 69 to 67 snaps with Naeem Hines and Deion Jackson being out. 25 routes on 30 of Matt Ryan dropbacks. I mean, that's fantastic. Give it up to Adam Levitri for those. Adam Levitan for those particular statistics. I mean, he's been doing fantastic. So Jonathan Taylor, elite game ball right there. For Ants game ball, I mean, honestly, right here, this was a get right game for James Conner. We just talked about him, but this is the time to sell if you're going to sell. Get him while you can. But he had 90% of the snaps, so it's kind of hard to go, hey, get rid of this guy. But he 90% of the snaps, had 21 attempts for 69 yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 targets for 17, 3 targets, 3 receptions for 17 yards. So not a bad move. And great game ball. So Ant's game ball going to James Connor. What up, Tim? And what up, Drunk Squidward? Up, up. I was, what's up on early? I see. Yeah, we're on early for me. On early for me for these East Coast people. And then he goes, if I could trade like Brian Robinson, depending on the usage tonight for Swift, I'd take that chance. Yeah. Them boys goes, and they just cut Eno. Correct. That was another bit of news we were going to talk about. Eno just got cut by the Cardinals. They're going to lean on Connor even more. So yeah, I mean, you can definitely sell Connor if you want to, but they will be using him a lot. You might be able to get away with Singletary if you're, instead. But I like the usage. Yeah. So he's just pointing out the Eno move. Yeah, Connor's going to be valuable. So yeah. Let's go back to AJ's question. AJ goes, Christian Kirk, a wide receiver 1, rest of the season overreaction. I had Christian Kirk as one of those guys anyway. I had him I think I had him top 15 or something like that originally before the beginning of the season. I like Christian Kirk in general. I think he's just been slowly easing himself back. I think he's been having a little bit of a tough time against good coverage. He's always been kind of more of a wide receiver 2 in real life compared to a wide receiver 1. So they've been trying to, I think, scheme things a little bit better. I think ETN's opened up things a lot more for him recently. So for me, and I think that matchup kind of just worked out for him. I mean, Kansas City is not really great against the wide receiver. They do better against the run and things like that. So, I don't know if it's an overreaction. I think that I think he's a mid-tier. I think he's more of a low-end one than he is a mid-tier one. He's just someone you're going to play every week. So that's just how I feel about him. Drunk Squidward goes, was Christian Watson game a fluke? I don't think he can get 3 touchdowns, right? Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't call it a fluke. I just think they finally figured out a way to use him because Romeo Doubs has been out and they finally can get him involved in the offense. So I don't think it's a fluke, but I do think that I think that's probably the best game of his season. He could probably level out a little bit. You're, maybe hoping for him. I mean, he's going to be definitely one of the biggest waiver ads this week. So, I mean, realistically, we can only hope that he can go for a little bit more like, I don't know, seven targets for 5 catches and 80 yards or something like that, and maybe a touchdown. So, yeah. Anthony goes, Connor is a buy and hold for me. Yeah. Okay. So instead of selling him, Ant's saying maybe hold him. Okay. I mean, based on the roster he showed me before, I mean, you could probably sell Singletary for him. But I think Connor might be the one to do it. You can offer Singletary for Godwin and then see if you can, maybe, Connor's your last resort. Things will definitely change next year with Ridley in the fold. Yeah, for sure. They still got to figure out, but yeah. Rave goes, what if I tried to trade back for Miles Sanders? That sounds dumb, but the guy has Chubb, Eckler, Walker, now Sanders, Carter, and Robinson. I mean, trading back for the guy, I don't think you're going to be able to do. A lot of people won't do that. And what do you trade back? For me, I don't know. I don't think you can trade back. I would just try to aim for somebody else and try to solidify I would just try to solidify that running back core. You just need one guy to help you out. Like I said, Singletary is a good buy candidate and sell candidate. He's kind of back and forth. You can use either or interchangeably, in my opinion. Anthony goes, pretty sure Diggs wiped out Lazard. I think it's more fluky than not, but but there's absolutely targets available. Yeah, of course. And, right now, Randall Cobb is apparently going to be activated I think next week or this coming week. So that might kind of put a little wrench, but not a huge wrench, into that system. They showed that Christian Watson can go downfield and catch it. He did very well. I'm not going to knock his performance, but yes, Lazard was pretty much covered by Diggs. He only had two less snaps than Lazard. I was watching that game very closely, and a friend of mine had a lot of points on was betting on Lazard heavily, and unfortunately, it didn't work out in his favor. So it's one of those things where we'll have to wait and see. No, the answer said that. So Cadillac goes full PPR. Rank these running backs: Kamara, Etienne, Pierce, Walker, and Jacobs. Nice. I'd probably go full PPR. You said I would probably go Jacobs, Etienne, Pierce, Jacobs, Etienne, Kamara, Pierce, and Walker. And that's how I'd rank them. I mean, Jacobs is he's been out of this world lately. He catches passes. He does everything. I just like what he does. I understand the team sucks, but they lean on him and he does well. Etienne, same deal. But he hasn't really been involved in the passing game, which I find very odd. Kamara, it's either the team doesn't know how to use him or he's just thinking about too much about his legal issues and he just isn't doing what he's supposed to. Pierce, I really like. I think he'll do well moving forward. Walker, I like as well. I think both are really, just good. It's just I can't find a way to rank them higher than Kamara, just because they're more involved in the rush, just more. They're not involved in the passing game as much as I would want them to be ranked higher. Kamara has more of an opportunity to be that way. All right. So so Ant gave his game ball away. I'm going to give mine away, and this is my favorite guy. He really did well this week. I was really happy for his production, and that is Jeff Wilson. And that is one reason why. One reason why that I really liked it. One, I kept him in my my one big league. Two, he scored 22.3 points. But 3 running backs were in the top 14 for the Miami Dolphins this week, and that included Raheem Mostert he was running back 10, and Ingle, the fullback, for running back 14. So honestly, I really liked what Jeff Wilson did this week. 17 targets, 119 yards, 7 yards per carry with a touchdown. Had 5 targets, 2 receptions, and 24 yards on that. He also outsnapped Mostert, who was the lead back with Chase Edmonds there. He had 42 snaps, 17 routes, and 22 opportunities. Once again, thank you, Adam Levitan, for all your stuff. Mostert, 19 snaps, 9 routes, 12 opportunities. It looks like Wilson's the new lead back there, honestly. So make sure you guys, if you can trade low or buy low on Wilson, do it now. I think Wilson's a great ad for any team. Definitely worth buying. And if you guys don't follow Adam Levitan at Establish the Run, you should. He's great to listen to. I mean, besides us, of course. But make sure you guys check him out. He's a really good follow on Twitter. Anthony goes Kamara, Jacobs, Etienne, Walker, Pierce. He kind of puts Kamara at the top and puts everyone below him the way I put it in the same order. He switched Pierce and Walker, but yeah, I like Jacobs a little more. He's a Raider hater, so take his bias a little bit out of it. But he's not a big Raider fan, so he'll push back a Raider just because he doesn't like him. I'm kind of joking, but not really. So Cadillac goes, should try and get ETN. This guy has Cup, who just went down, and I feel like I could give him someone like Debo or someone else for ETN and someone else. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I would definitely do it. I mean, ETN has been on fire. Hasn't had really a bad game. And I'm talking about like bad game for me is like he's running back, at the very bottom. I mean, he's not one of the guys we're going to be talking about today. So for me, I mean, he's definitely someone that will be fine for the rest of the season. They've been giving him the ball. He's the workhorse. Yeah, give up Debo for ETN right now. I think you can probably get away with it. I think the cup owner will be like, yeah, please. So yeah, I'm completely fine with that. So go for it. I feel like there was news here. Okay, so I'm getting some news that Gerald Everett has a groin injury. He's going to be day to day. So those who have Gerald Everett, be aware. Um, Christian Watson actually is coming up on the injury report right now. Apparently, they had an estimated injury report because they had practice this week. I think they play on Thursday night, if memory serves me. He had a limited practice due to an ankle injury. We have to hopefully see limited practices throughout the week. Otherwise, I'd be a little bit concerned. So, yeah. And it looks like Coach Brandon Staley said that wide receiver Keenan Allen and Mike Williams should be back at practice this week. So be aware of that as well. Sorry, just throwing in some news that I'm getting as I'm on the show. I want you guys to have the best news possible and make sure you guys have, up to date everything. So, and it goes, nah, it means more that I have him at 2. I'm sure you would have thought I had him last. Yeah, most of the time. Cadillac goes, his running backs are Swift, Chubb, Pierce, and ETN. So I think ETN has the most value out of all of those. I agree. I don't know if he's going to be willing to let him go, though, just because of Swift. Even though Swift is a talented back, he hasn't been used. So I'm not saying that he is not going to give him up, but I think that it's one of those things. Yes, Anthony says 30-minute warning. So I'm going to try to get moving a little bit through. I, of course, talk too much. So I want to get to the game too. It's at 8:25, something like that. So I'm going to be wanting to watch the game. Cody says, Mike, you are more than welcome to join us at our watch party, but I doubt you want to do another show right after this. But he wanted to throw the invite out there anyway. Cody, I do appreciate that. And I would love to do nothing more than to be on it. But I would prefer to be sitting on my couch on my recliner and enjoying the game in my comfy clothes. So thank you. I do appreciate it. Yeah, I kind of need a break. So yeah, my game ball for running backs goes to Jeff Wilson. Yeah, Jeff Wilson. Honorable mention, definitely can go to Tony Pollard. Had a great game, 21 points. The guy's unstoppable. If Zeke's out, you throw him in. I think he's a great, great ad. Another guy is Devin Singletary. I mean, 13 for 47 yards and 2 touchdowns. He did really good. They were focusing on the run to keep, Josh Allen from having to throw, but Josh Allen threw for over 300 yards anyway. He had the one fumble loss. It wasn't really his fault. I thought he was down. That was my own opinion. Led the backfield. This was a little nugget from Dwayne McFarland. For Fantasy Life, he had 73% of the snaps, 65% of the route participation, and 78 of long down and distance opportunities. And he was in the, he was 100% in on 2-minute offense. So I like Devin Singletary moving forward. I really do. I think he's a great ad. I think they're going to lean on him. They haven't really been using Nyheim Hines the way that I thought they would. James Cook and him have actually been pretty much non-existent. If memory serves me from that same tweet he had, I think Nyheim Hines at 8%. Snaps. I think I only saw him in on a handful. I think maybe 13 plays or something like that. But yeah. Definitely like Devin Singletary moving forward. Cody goes Pollard greater than Zeke. Completely agree. All right. So, of course, we all have to mention the concept for game balls, and one's got to be Jetta, of course. He had a monster game. I think out of his, I think he had. I don't have the numbers in front of me, so don't quote me. But the guy had I think he had 12 targets and 10 catches, and I think out of his 10 catches, I think he had like 8 contested. I mean, he had a day. So Jetta is definitely one of the more, one of the guys that are considered here. Anthony's game ball, of course, goes to a guy that I hope to one day get on the show because he's such a, from what I hear, a great guy. It's the Gabe Davis. Gabe Davis had 21 points, and don't forget our 600 subscriber giveaway. We're giving away a signed Gabriel Davis jersey, so make sure you guys like and subscribe if you haven't already. Like I said, man, this guy killed it. 9 targets, 6 receptions, 93 yards, and a touchdown. Did really well. So really like this particular call. For me, it would probably be, we all saw what Christian Watson did. It was great. I'm not going to pick him. Not saying that he didn't do a great, have a great day. 8 targets, 4 receptions for 103 yards. 107 yards and 3 touchdowns. I mean, for me, I think it's Christian Kirk. I think everyone is, really happy that he came back and did, had a couple of stinkers, but came back. Yeah, okay, so I was wrong. So it was 16-4, or it was 16-10 and 193 and a touchdown. And out of those 10 receptions, I think it was 8 that were contested or something like that. It was ridiculous. Put an asterisk next to that 21 points. Yeah, let's not talk about that. He caught it. He definitely caught it. No, I'm kidding. He definitely didn't caught it. But yeah, I'm going to use Christian Kirk as my guy. 9 receptions on 12 targets for 105 yards and 2 touchdowns. Had a really good game against the Chiefs. So good for you, Christian Kirk. Glad, my game balls to you. A couple honorable mention guys that we can throw in there. Nick Westbrook-Ikhine did real well. 8 targets, 5 receptions, 119 yards and 2 touchdowns. CeeDee Lamb had a great game finally. I'm kidding. 15 targets, 11 receptions, 150 yards and 2 touchdowns. The wide receiver 1 on the day. Just beat out Jetta by a little bit. But it is what it is. Paris Campbell had himself a day, wide receiver 11. Kadarius Toney had 2 for 33 rushing and had 4 receptions on 5 targets, 57 yards and a touchdown. I mean, they're definitely looking to use him. And Juju's probably going to be out for a week, just to be aware. Juju's definitely one of those guys that is going to be out, and they're going to involve Toney a little bit more. They're probably going to involve Dustin Watson a little bit too. So just be aware. Be aware. And my guy, Darius Slayton, 3 receptions on 4 targets, 95 yards and a touchdown. Good for you, man. Rondale Moore too, man. The guy had 13 targets on the day, even with Hopkins there and playing with Colt McCoy. Not bad. And now they're going to use him a little more with Ertz out, but we'll have to wait and see how that goes and how they adjust. So Rave goes, Sutton, Moore, and Palmer are my trade candidates for Singletary. What is your best value trade, you think? I think Rondale Moore. Yeah, I think Rondale Moore might be the hold on. Sorry. Almost had to sneeze. I think Rondale Moore might be the best candidate to trade away there. I think Palmer's fine. Well, actually, no. You know what? Maybe Palmer. Just with the news that we got with Mike Williams and Keenan Allen practicing, Palmer's day might be coming to an end. So maybe giving away Palmer while you can for Singletary, and that might be your best bet. So I'm going to go Palmer. Anthony goes, yeah, questionable, but ask the Saints and a ton of other teams about bad calls. Yeah, they had a couple of bad calls, not just that game. They had another one that had a bad call as well. Megatron, Dez. I mean, it happens. Yeah. They called it a catch and they moved it along. As a guy in the losing end of the Fail Mary game, I know what a bad call feels like. Hey, Dez. That's funny. Oh, Rave goes, sorry, DJ Moore, my bad. No. That's not your bad. That's my bad. I just misinterpreted it. Yeah, whenever you guys use player, if you bring up a player, make sure you guys, mention their first names for the Williams and Moores and John Smiths out, of the world. Otherwise, I'm going to do that. So yeah, Palmer or Moore for Singletary, Hollywood coming back. I agree. I think it's a little bit one of those two might work. I think Palmer might be the best option. I like Palmer a lot. He's just one of my favorites, but yeah. Them boys saying Dez definitely caught that ball, Cody. I love this group. I love them a lot. All right, next we're going to go to the game ball. I mean, geez, tight end was really hard to give because honestly, there weren't a ton. And we only want to give game balls to guys that, definitely earned it. Travis Kelce, tight end 2 on the week. I mean, always going to give it to him, but I'm going to go with Cole Kmet. Cole Kmet for the last 3 weeks has been the best tight end in football. He's 4 receptions for 74 yards and 2 touchdowns. I mean, this guy has been killing it. Kmet has been killing it. So if you didn't get a chance to pick him up, I'm sorry. But Kmet has been doing well lately. You're just going to have to continue to ride that wave for now. But he might fall back to earth at one point. Ants game ball is going to go to our good friend Dalton Schultz, 17.4 points on the day, 6 receptions, 54 yards and a touchdown. I really needed that to happen as well. He was tight end 3 on the day. Another guy, some honorable mention guys, Juwan Johnson, tight end 4, 5 receptions on 7 targets and 44 yards and a touchdown. I mean, honestly, Juwan Johnson might not be a bad choice. Taysom Hill has kind of gone the way of the dodo. He had his moment. He is no longer top option anymore. I do like him a lot. I love the talent. I really do. I'm a big fan of Taysom Hill because he's definitely a football player. The guy just does everything. He doesn't care. He just goes out and has fun. But yeah, Juwan Johnson's been beating him out with Andy Dalton there. So Tyler Higbee, tight end 6 this week after putting up a donut. 8 receptions on 8 targets for 74 yards. I wouldn't be too sure to pick up a guy like him. I think the Walford effect was the reason, but I think with Kupp out, it might be I think it might continue moving forward just because he's the better, he's usually the second option after Kupp. So, yeah. So, Rave goes, I should be studying for AP Chem. But I'm sitting here trying to make moves before the deadline. I don't blame you, brother. Priorities are on point, Rave. Smart man. Hey, man, I do it during work too. I sit there and wonder what I need to do for, trading Kupp. I have questions of my own. Should I trade away Jonathan Taylor for Stephon Diggs, like things like that. I'm thinking of things all day. I'm trying to get all my trades out of the way now. Thankfully, the Kupp injury happened before trades so that I can, not have to worry about using waiver and things like that. Money greater than books. I agree. Damn, AP Chem. Miss those days. Glad that you can join me here, though. Glad to try to help you win your fantasy league. That's what we're here for. Cadillac goes, so my trade is Debo and Pitts for Waddle. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Hands down, just hit. I mean, if he hits accept, just start dancing. Just stop dancing. I love it. Do it. Hate Kyle Pitts. Get rid of Kyle Pitts. If you have Kyle Pitts on your team, get rid of him. But you ain't going to do shit. He's not going to get you anything. So, yeah. Do it. I like it. All right. So we're going to give away some loser game balls, or, we're going to give away toilet trophies. Those really, really bad trophies. I mean, here's an example of one of those really, really bad trophies.
Does your league hold the loser prize just as important as the winner? Then you need TrophySmack.com. Get your loser gear and winner gear at TrophySmack.com. Get yours today. Click now and go to TrophySmack.com.
And you can get those really, really bad trophies for those guys that do really bad at trophysmack.com. Make sure you guys use the promo code GETRIGHT and they will help you out at checkout. All right. So I'm getting some news here for those who own Cooper Kupp. All right. So let me read off what I have here. This is coming from one of the beat writers, Jordan Rodriguez from the Athletic. Cooper Kupp's initial x-rays were negative. So more likely looking like a high ankle sprain instead of a serious fracture or break. So which would cause a subsequent multi-month recovery into the season. Kupp will miss time. What is still being determined is how much. So they're still trying to figure it out. Most high ankle sprains are 4 to 6 months based on the severity of the sprain. So just be aware of that. Whew. All right. Watson got snubbed. Yeah, a little bit. Not too bad. Now we wait. If I get Waddle, my wide receivers will be D-Hop, St. Brown, Garrett Wilson, Waddle. I love it. Yes, we get breaking news on this show. So make sure you guys follow this show if you haven't already. Make sure you guys subscribe to the show. Like I said, we are here every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and every Sunday morning to help you with your lineups. So yeah. Did I say months? Oh, I'm really sorry. 4 to 6 weeks, not months. My bad. 4 to 6 weeks. So just make sure you guys are aware. 4 to 6 weeks is right up until the end of the season. So you might not be relying on Kupp for your playoffs. So just be aware. Rave goes, hey man, I appreciate the advice. I'm actually going to go study for like 15 minutes before the Commanders game. I see myself here a lot. Good. We hope to have you here every week. We're here every, like I said, as Rasta says right here, we appreciate you. We'll be on every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday morning. So make sure you guys check us out. We're always around. I'm always here. And like I said, make sure you guys, check out our sleeper channel as well. Like I said, if you don't have sleeper already, right here, make sure you guys, get in there. Make sure you guys join. Great group of guys. All these guys in here, really great. Cadillac goes, the thing with Kupp is that I don't know if he re-injured the same ankle. I got to double check that too. I wasn't 100% sure. It doesn't really, if he did re-aggravate the injury, it would be more towards the 6-week mark. And if that's the case, it's going into probably week 17, which is your championship weekend. Hopefully he's there, but you're going to have to do it without him. So, well, there goes my season. Yeah, I understand. All right, 10-minute warning. Sorry, Ross is moving me along from outside. He could have been here, it looks like. No, I'm kidding. So waivers, let's get these people out of the way. I need Gibson to score 10 to win in my other league. Good luck, brother. We hope he does well for you there. I'm facing Gibson, but the guy has a large climb to get to me. So we're going to skip all the negative and all the bad. I could mention a few people, Kyle Pitts, Dolch, Wan'Dale Robinson. I know Anthony wants me to mention Terrace Marshall. But first off, let's be clear. He had one catch for 43 yards. He had more points than DJ Moore, and his catch was way, way better than his. Deebo Samuel, another guy. Henry, I mean, you can drop Clyde Edwards-Helaire at this point. It looks like he is done. Cordell Patterson, you can drop him. Justin Herbert had a rough day for a QB, but he's fine. Don't worry about worry about Russell Wilson. Andy Dalton kind of just is always going back and forth. Take it behind the driving or while driving, listening to the show and producing at the same time. Good for you, brother. Does it all. Don't you love it? Anyway, we got rid of those guys. We already kind of went through the news. Kupp's ankle injury. Jerry Jeudy looks to be day-to-day. So it's not an Achilles injury. It's something at the back of the ankle. Just be aware of it. It looks like he might. I would assume it's like a week he'll be out. So we'll have to wait and see. Unfortunately, there was news that came through before the show. Zach Ertz has a season-ending injury. He will be out for the rest of the year. Trey McBride is his backup. Not a horrible option as well. He's a highly touted tight end. So maybe not a horrible move if you don't want to have to go up and pay for guys like Dallas Goedert or Mark Andrews or anything like that. Benjamin got cut this morning from the Cardinals. He will no longer be there. So it looks like James Conner is the guy. Hollywood Brown looks like he's getting close to coming back as well. We talked about that. Leonard Fournette had a hip pointer. So right now, it's likely that he'll be ready for the next game after the bye, but they're moving in Ricard White, and just be aware, man. Just be aware. PJ Walker had a high ankle sprain, so it looks like Baker Mayfield's going to be starting on Sunday against the Ravens. So just be aware. Right now, Dennis Allen says there's no decision that's been made on quarterback for this week, so we'll have to wait and see. Maybe Taysom Hill might be the next option, but right now, Jameis Winston's been hurt. They've been using him as more of an emergency quarterback, so we'll have to wait and see. Deshaun Watson is able to join the team, but he said that Jacoby Brissett is going to be the number one guy, at least until week 13 when they face the Houston Texans. So just be aware. All right, so for waivers, let's get waivers done and over with. So first, I'm going to bring up Cody stuff. Rest in peace to all the people who picked up CEH ahead of of Jonathan Taylor in Dynasty a few years back. Yeah. Them boys goes, fuck Fournette. I was so high on him, and he's a bum now. Yeah, man. I told you guys, I had him at running back 13, and you guys were all or in the beginning of the season, and even Dave Kluge gave me crap. I'm like, no. We'll see. He's got to get through the whole season first. All right, waivers. We're going to start with a couple of guys that are very low named. So also, Mike, as of Friday, Winston is healthy. They choose to stay with Dalton. Okay. Well, even if they choose, they might move on to James because they didn't look good. So for QBs, we're going to go with Baker Mayfield. He's going to be against Baltimore. Baltimore has been one of the easiest teams to pass on this year. I would only suggest him in Superflex, not in one QB leagues. Matt Ryan, 14% owned. He's available, but he's facing Philly next week. Might not be the best ad. I'd unless you really need a quarterback next week, I wouldn't go with Matt Ryan. Just because that defense is legit. Deshaun Watson, 44% owned. I mean, if you need the guy, if you don't need him until week 13, he's not a bad choice to get now. But I don't know, man. I'm not a big fan of him regardless. Even if he comes back, I don't think he's going to be anything special. So we'll see. Yeah, I think Jameis is probably the ad. And I'm going to add him to this list. Jameis Winston, add him now before you can. All right, running backs. We talked about it before. Rashard White, 55% owned and 45 in Yahoo. I mean, he's got to buy this week. So unless you're, if you're trying to think ahead, he's the guy to get today. Jalen Warren. Jaron Warren. I'm butchering the guy's name. Jalen Warren. There we go. Pick up him. He's starting to increase his workload. I think they're starting to understand that their season is kind of over and they want to see what they have. 36% owned versus Cincinnati this coming week. Not a horrible ad. If you haven't added Elijah Mitchell or someone dropped him for whatever reason, pick him up. 60% owned. This guy had at least 40% of the run and looked good doing it. I know it was against the Chargers who had a poor run defense. They lost their whole front line. So yeah. Cadillac asks, is Chuba Hubbard droppable? I want to say yes, and it's really based on who you're looking to pick up, but I would say yes. If you're dropping him for Rashard White, I would. Yeah. Elijah Mitchell, I would. The next guy on our list, Jared McKinnon, 25% owned against the Chargers and Pachenko. If one of those two is available, I'd probably pick them up too over Chuba Hubbard. And especially for next week, that, it looks like you can use anybody against the Chargers and you'll get points. So for me, yeah, I would do that. It's really sad. They have a really, really good back end. They just don't have the defensive line. Is what it is. And that's probably why Derwin James is doing so well. Anyway, so for wide receiver, we already mentioned Christian Watson. He's 17% owned in Sleeper, 9 in Yahoo. This is Ant's number one waiver priority ad. So get on him now if you can't, or if you haven't already. So make sure you check him out. I think my big ad is going to be Donovan Peoples-Jones. Honestly, 49% owned in Sleeper, 35 in Yahoo. Donovan Peoples has been showing people something in the last few weeks. I mean, Amari Cooper is good, but Peoples-Jones has been showing what he can do. Darius Slayton's not another bad ad as well. 9% owned and 6% in Yahoo. Playing Detroit next week, you can pretty much load up anybody against Detroit. Allen Robinson, I think, is a decent ad against New Orleans. He might be owned, but if he isn't and someone dropped him because they were, sick of holding him, he's a good ad as well. I do think Kadarius Toney is a must add if he hasn't been already. I mean, 60% owned in Sleeper, 51 in Yahoo. So I'm a little shocked by that, that he's that open. But if he's available, go pick him up. I know he's not available in any of the leagues I'm in because someone else got him. Also, check out maybe Van Jefferson, another bad, not a bad ad at this point. 15% on Sleeper, 7% rostered in Yahoo. The Saints, great ad for this week. I think, not a bad option. Tight ends, we kind of already mentioned these guys. Cole Kmet at 53% owned in Sleeper, 59 in Yahoo. He's going against Atlanta. Pick anybody passing option in Atlanta. And Cole Kmet has been the best tight end these last 3 weeks. So not a bad ad. Check him out if you get him while you can. He does have a bye, I think week 14, I think. So just be aware of that. Juwan Johnson, 17% owned in Sleeper, 12 in the Yahoo leagues. Going against the Rams next week. I like it. Good option. Go get him. Foster Moreau, 31%. It looks, and Darren Waller is going to be out for the next 3 weeks. So, yeah, Foster got a good amount of targets. Looks good. I like him too. So, he's facing Denver next week. Not a bad ad. All right. Okay, so as per Adam Scheffler about Cooper Kupp, he doesn't sound as optimistic as the last report. Per one source, another familiar with this prognosis said, doesn't sound good. I hate these. I really do. I hate these more than most things in my life. Basically, like I keep saying, it's probably going to be 4 to 6 weeks, and I'm going to aim towards the 6 weeks just because I feel like that's a better way to go about it. Yeah, just hold out hope, everybody. Hold out hope that he'll be available for your fantasy playoffs. But, I see it more of a season thing than a fantasy season thing. So, Sebastian, welcome. We are wrapping up the show now. I'm going to be heading out in about 5 minutes. So if you have any last minute questions, make sure you guys throw them in the chat. Sebastian goes, do I trade Myers for Higbee? I had Ertz, but he's done for the season. Myers was my flex option, but since he's getting traded, I'll put either Hunt or Gus Edwards in my flex. I'm very confused by that. If you mean Jacoby Myers, he's not being traded. Oh, you're saying if Myers is traded, you can put Hunt or Edwards. Okay. And it's full PPR. So for my question for you, just to kind of get a better, understanding, who are the waiver ads that, like, who are your tight ends that you can pick up on waivers? That's my question, because I don't think I would trade for a guy like Higbee with Myers as my option. I would probably drop someone else to pick up. But let me know your options. I only got a few minutes, so you can throw the question to our guys over at the Check Down podcast. They're going to be up and running right now. They are doing a watch party for this game. So if you can't get it to me in time, throw it over to those guys. They will help you out. They're a great group of guys that can help you with this thing. So Sebastian says Foster Moreau, and but probably won't get him. I'm in the middle of the waiver order. Well, the way I view it, I look at the top 5. If you're in the middle, I would look at the top 5, 6 guys ahead of you. See if any of those guys need a tight end, because tight end isn't one of those positions that people are looking to get. And there's probably more than Moreau on there. There's probably a few guys out there that you could probably grab, other than him, to kind of, right the ship, if you will. I don't think trading away Myers is really your best option. I think Myers is a great flex, low end, wide or high or mid range wide receiver 3. He's steady, consistent, volume guy. I don't think you should be giving him away yet. If Jawan Johnson's available, that's a good choice. I know Cole Kmet's probably not going to be there. What if I get Hawkinson for Myers? I mean, and you have Justin Jefferson. Oof. I don't know, man. Myers is a solid option. Giving him away unless, like I said, you have Jefferson and who else as your depth pieces to be able to, if you can afford to get him away, like if you have 5 options or 6 options at wide receiver that are great producers, and you can give Myers away for a decent price like Hawkinson or Higbee, then go for it. But honestly, I don't think you should. I think Myers is a really steady option that can help you. But that's just me. I would probably go with anyone on the waivers. Cali goes, rate my team: quarterback, Fields, Lamar, running backs. We went through them before. We went through this whole team before. You have I love your team. Stunning team. You can definitely trade some stuff away to kind of help your cause. You have 3 really decent tight ends. I would get rid of one of them. I don't know if this is dynasty or not. If this is dynasty, this team is loaded. Almost better than my team. Not really. My team's fantastic. He has Hollywood on IR. Cody going, Check Down is live in 5. So that's about 2 minutes ago. So they're live in 2 minutes. So check them out. Make sure you guys subscribe to them as well. He should be. Oh, I might have to jump off so Cody can go on. So Cadillac, he goes, I'd say a B+, kind of weak at wide receiver. Not a surefire wide receiver 1. I disagree. He has Nuke. He would trade Honey for whatever tight end person. Yeah. I'll try and keep Myers and see if I can move other pieces. Yeah, you're better off. I think you should just try to stream for now. There's no point in getting rid of Myers. Might be able to get a better tight end with a running back than with Myers. Correct. So if you have better running back options to go for a tight end, then that's something I would do as well. Yeah. We'll have to wait, definitely keep trying. If you're not already part of our community, make sure you guys check out our community on Sleeper. It's in the description below, and also Ant posted it a little while back up in the chat. So make sure you guys check it out. I'm going to try to, there it is. make sure you guys join our channel. We can continue that conversation in there. Just throw it in the chat, and you won't get my opinion. You'll get Ant's opinion, and we have so many people in that they will answer your question as well. We are one big community. We're here to try to help you win your particular league. So make sure you guys check out our sleeper channel. I do injury designations all week long, Tuesday through Friday. And make sure you guys get up to the minute news so that you guys can make your options quicker than everybody else. I try to beat sleeper every time. I'm about 85% ahead of sleeper on most situations, unless I'm very, very busy, which of course I am. But make sure you guys check out that particular, make sure you guys check out our particular channel. Also, check out the Check Down. They're going to be on in like now. So make sure you guys check out Check Down podcast when you're done here. Cody and the guys will be watching the game, so check them out. Check out WAGMI Fantasy with Colin as well. WAGMIFantasy.com. Make sure you guys check them out. They have rankings, audio podcasts, and other things like rankings as well. Make sure you check out his Winning with WAGMI newsletter as well. Great article. He sends them out weekly. Make sure you guys also check out AJ and Tim at the Fantasy Frontline podcast. They are a great group of guys. They helped us out. We had Tim on a Friday. So make sure you guys check them out as well. Sorry, Cody, I got to change this back. Make sure you guys check out trophysmack.com as well. Use promo code GetRight, and they will help you at your checkout, as well as Underdog Fantasy. Make sure you guys are checking all these things out. I'm going to wrap this show up. We got a lot to do, lots of things going on. Sun God to the moon. Anthony goes, I got to get out of here. Classic. Thanks as always, brother. Great show. Thank you. Always appreciate that, Anthony. All right, everybody. Wrapping it up. Good luck on the end of your week 10. Good luck on your week 11. Hopefully you guys can win. Hopefully, for those who are looking to, oh yeah, had to throw that in there. Thumbnail was fire. Thank you. Yeah. I'll have to wear the sunglasses on the show one day. So yeah, make sure you guys do well this week, this coming week in week 11. Make sure you guys make the right waiver ads. Make sure you guys, good luck tonight for those who are looking for a win. Hopefully you guys get your win and, come back next week. Let us know and we will help you guys moving forward. So we will see you guys on Wednesday. We will be back at 9:00 Pacific, 12 o'clock Eastern. So make sure you guys check us out then. And then we'll be back Friday and Sunday as well. So we'll see you later. Have a great night.